In life, you will always be going through seasons, whether that's a season of heartbreak or a season of learning, or maybe a season of failure or a season of hurt. And you might feel like you're in that season of failure or that season of heartbreak or that season of hurt right now. And I just wanted to be the one that tells you that there's no coincidence in that at all, because all of those seasons ultimately lead to that season of self-growth or that season of success. You'll get the things that you prayed for, all of those things that you manifested, and you'll realize why you went through all of the things that you went through to get there. And even though I do believe that time is what gets us through these seasons and gets us to that season of self-growth, I do believe that we can do things to speed that process up. There are things that we can do to make that process just a little bit faster so we can actually enter that era of our lives. And I believe this because I believe that I've done it countless times before. So I just wanted to share a little bit about what I've learned, and hopefully you can get something from that. Before you enter that season of self-growth, or that season of success, or that season of self-love, or that season of anything positive or anything that you want in your life, there has to be some character development before that. And that's really the best way that I can put it. But pretty much before a rainbow, there has to be rain. Always. There's never going to be a situation in life where you're constantly getting the rainbows and you're never going to have to go through those seasons of the rain or those seasons of bad weather, because that's just unrealistic. Before you enter that season of self-acceptance or just understanding who you are as a person, you had to have gone through a season where you felt lost or you felt like you didn't know what you were doing with your life, because that's how we know what that feels like. Before you enter a season of self-love or maybe finding love from another person, you have to go through a season of heartbreak so you can actually appreciate what that love feels like, so you can appreciate how true love feels. So before you enter that season or go through that era of your life where you get the things that you want, where you find that self-growth, where you find that success, you have to go through these eras of life where it feels like things aren't going right for you. I think we really need to understand and recognize what the negative counterparts of these positive things actually feel like in our lives before we can accept and fully appreciate when those positive things actually come. I know that you want to get to that point of your life where you're constantly growing, where you're constantly seeing success, but you will not be feeling any sense of fulfillment. You will not find any accomplishment if you were instantly gratified with that season of your life. You have to go through all of the negatives to appreciate what the positives can offer you. And I do believe that all of this is really intentional. I think that God does it for a reason. Everything that we have in life all comes in seasons, and God does that purposely. And you might feel like you're stuck in this place, or you're stuck in this feeling, or this season of being hurt, or this season of failure, and you want to do anything in your power to exceed out of that, to grow constantly, to finally have that success that you want. And you want to elevate your life, because who wants to stay in these seasons of failure or these seasons of heartbreak? And it might be challenging, or not might, it's going to be hard. It's going to be challenging, it's going to be hard, because these seasons are intended to be hard. That's the entire point of them. You're supposed to be growing from them. You're supposed to be learning from these situations in your life. So yeah, it's going to be challenging. It's going to be hard. But sometimes that uncomfortability is what we need in our lives, because unfortunately with life, we've just got to deal with the cards that we're dealt. You can't control the season that you're in. And to an extent, I don't believe that we'll ever be in a position to have agency over the seasons that we're in. But you can control how long you stay in that season. And you can always control what you get out of that season or what you learn from it. And that's all really depending on how you approach it or how you let it impact you. You can either let it impact you in a positive way or a negative way. And the choice that you make there really determines how long you stay in that season. And I'm going to explain why a little bit later. But there were probably thousands of seasons that I've been through that turned me into the person that I am today. And I know that there's probably going to be hundreds of thousands in the future that's going to turn me into the person that I want to become. I've been through emotional pain, physical pain, failure, anything in the book, honestly. But I wouldn't change any of the situations that I've been through, because those seasons of my life changed me for the better. But out of all those seasons and all those eras in my life, I really wanted to emphasize just one of them, because I feel like it perfectly illustrates exactly what I'm trying to say and exactly how you're going to get to that season of self-growth. And I wanted to talk about all the seasons that I went through when I started this entire YouTube channel, because like I said, it really illustrates and symbolizes exactly what I mean when we have to enter all of these certain seasons if you want to get to that season of self-growth or that season of some success. Some people might see some of these successes that I've had on my channel and just constantly assume that I'm in this season of success. They only see that season of success for me. But nobody really saw those seasons of me building up towards that success, or me not knowing how to edit videos, or me not knowing how to make a good title or a good thumbnail, or really just do anything. Nobody saw those seasons of me posting YouTube videos for nobody. That season of my life of self-doubt, of fear, of not knowing what to do, of not knowing if I'm doing the right thing at all came before that season of success. all came before that season of growth. The successes that I've had on this channel are very symbolic of entering that season of self-growth, because before you enter that season of self-growth, before you enter that season of success, you're going to be in that season of you trying to figure things out, or trying to understand what you're doing right or what you're doing wrong. The entire point of all of these bad moments is to grow you and make you more resilient mentally, physically, or whatever it might be. And I also think that it's very symbolic on the way that people perceive your seasons or your eras or these different situations in your life. But I'm definitely going to talk about that later on in the video. You cannot find yourself in any era or any position of self-growth, or in my case, an era of finding success on YouTube, if you don't recognize exactly what those seasons are meant for. You cannot find yourself entering a season of self-love if you're not pausing and looking around at what that season of heartbreak is teaching you. You cannot enter any portion of your life, any era of your life, any season of your life, if you're not recognizing and respecting the current season that you're in. If I thought that I was going to be entering my season of self-growth on YouTube constantly when I posted a video, and I definitely did that, so I'm going to talk about that. Before I started even seeing success on YouTube, I would never have found success in the first place, because I would have been prideful. I would have never been humble. I would have never found the opportunity to learn, or found the opportunity to just appreciate the fact that I'm starting something new and I have to build this from the ground up, and I have to actually go on a journey to be good at something. You need to be in a season where you're constantly evolving, where you're constantly learning and looking around at the situation around you and recognizing that, okay, the things that I want in my life aren't going to be here yet. I'm going to get it in the future, but for right now, I need to recognize how I can get there. And I need to recognize what the current situations in my life are teaching me about what I need to do in the future. You can speed the entire process up and get to that season of your life if you can finally humble yourself and stop expecting that season of your life to happen instantly just because you feel like you've been working hard and you've been working diligently to get it. You have got to go through some character development. That's really all it is. God is turning you into a person that's ready to receive that success. Every single current situation that you're in, all of the current seasons in your life, that's God changing you and turning you into a person that's ready to be accepting of that success that He offers. And look, I can only speak for myself, but every single time I failed in my life, all of those seasons of failure, all of those times that I posted a YouTube video and got 0 views, and posted a video and got no comments, no engagement, all of that, every single failure that I've had turned me into a better person. It made me more mentally resilient. So when you're in this era of your life where you feel like things are going wrong and you're going to constantly try to speed it up, you're constantly trying to speed up the process, trying to get from A to B as quick as possible, just pause, stop, and look around at what the situation is trying to teach you. What is this season of your life trying to teach you? Because everything is intentional. It's not like you're in this season or you're in this era for no reason. If you're in this season of your life, it's because it's building you for something. Always move as if you're constantly learning. You're not going to get there yet and never really expecting to receive it, but always be ready to receive it. Never expect to receive it, but always be ready to receive that. And what I mean by that can be defined by this one story about when I finally had a video that was successful on my YouTube channel. Before I found just a little bit of success on YouTube, I was constantly expecting that success. I would be posting the worst videos of all time. I posted all of these videos expecting them to pop off, expecting them to make waves in the self-improvement community, and I got 0 views on dang near every video. But every single time I posted a YouTube video, I expected that success. I wasn't constantly learning about the situation I was in. I was constantly expecting for that video to pop off because I felt entitled. I wasn't really humble in the fact that I was still learning. And it wasn't until I stopped expecting that success that I finally had a video that popped off. Like, I posted this video not anticipating for it to pop off or not anticipating for anything to even come from it. I didn't post that video expecting it to blow up because I knew I still had so much to learn. I knew that I was in a season of my life where I was still developing talent, where I was still developing my skills, but I was always ready to receive that success. So it's not like I was posting this video and I was half editing it, I was half speaking, I was just basically BSing it. It's not like I was doing that because I was ready to receive that success when eventually it came to me. I never expected to have that success, but since I made every video with as much effort as possible, eventually when that success came, I was ready to receive it, and people started seeing the effort I was putting into my videos, and they started saying, okay, this guy is actually a pretty good YouTuber. It doesn't matter if you're expecting it or not. Do everything at your full potential, and then eventually you're going to be ready to receive that success. You don't want to be that guy that's constantly getting chased by that season of self-growth, but you're constantly running away because you're not being disciplined or you're not being diligent. If you're running towards self-growth, if you're running and chasing self-growth, when it comes back for you, eventually you're going to receive that success. So you'll enter that season of self-growth and speed up that process when you stop expecting that to happen and you still work as diligently as possible, when you can finally have that mentality where you recognize that the situation that you're currently in is not reflective of the future or reflective of the success that you're going to get, but eventually you're going to get there. And the situation that you're in right now is a necessity to get there. Make do with your current situation, learn as much as possible from your current situation, and I promise you that season of self-growth is going to chase after you as quickly as possible. Change only happens when you've been putting in the work, when you've been diligent, when you've been disciplined, and eventually over time that consistency pays off. Your talents and your gifts will be recognized eventually. But for right now, you've got to be patient and accepting of your current situation. But I also wanted to mention that sometimes people might perceive our seasons as something completely different than what they are. Like, I could be in the season of me going ghost, or me being isolated, just working on myself, trying to evolve in silence on my own accord. And somebody might see that and assume that I'm in this season of depression because I'm not talking to anybody, when in real life, I'm just focused, I'm locked in. But it doesn't really matter how people perceive these situations that you're in or perceive this season of your life, because the only person that it should matter to is yourself. If it makes sense to you, if you're constantly growing, if you're learning something, then that situation is working for you. And if you want to speed up this process a little bit faster, I also designed a self-growth journal that's going to be in the description below with 50 guided self-growth questions that can help you understand yourself, understand the situations that you're in, and actually visualize what success and what that season of self-growth is going to look like for you. But I appreciate you guys for watching this video. I hope you guys got something out of this, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.